Get your tea ready because we're about to get into pros and cons of what life is really like as a flight attendant. There's a sparkle in your eyes. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jasmine and you're here. So what's good? What's poppin'? Hit that subscribe button, join the family. For those of you who are returning, what's up, guys? So happy to see you again. I'm actually really happy to be showing up for you guys today. We're going to be breaking down some pros and cons to becoming a flight attendant, or what the flight attendant life is like. Okay, I'm sure that you hear a lot of the same things about life as a flight attendant. If you like watch a lot of vlogs or follow a lot of flight attendants, you might have a little bit of a surface level understanding of what life really is like, and some pros and some cons that we deal with in this career. So I have a whole list on my phone that I'm going to chat with you guys about, and yeah, I hope you're interested. I hope that I share something that you didn't know about the life of a flight attendant. But before we do, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you're always aware when I post videos and you don't miss when I upload. Okay, so if you want to know some pros and cons about being a flight attendant and the real tea, then just keep on watching. I hope you have something you're sipping on and a notepad, because honey, class is in session. No, I'm kidding. I'm not really about to share like any tea. The setup is like pretty formal, but I really am just going to be, I really am just going to be like chatting with you guys just about my opinion. Okay, I did ask a couple of flight attendants on my last trip you know, some of their pros and cons personally, and honestly a lot of the stuff that they said were either already on my list or ones I was going to put on my list. So I think it's safe to say that not all, but a lot of other flight attendants will be able to relate to some of the pros and cons that I have listed here. Yeah, I'm excited to share them. So let's just get right into it. I mean, what do y'all want? Like the good or the bad first? What should I do? I don't know. Do we start good or do we start like negative? I don't know. Ew. Well, let's do negative first, because I don't want to end negatively. So okay, here we go. All right, so my list is pretty like lengthy. Okay, like, so we might be here for a little second. I'm gonna try to make sure this video not too long. Okay. Okay, so let's just get right into these cons. Okay, so these are in no particular order from like worst to not so worst. These are just, I'm just spilling these out as they come and as like I mark them off my little list in front of me. And so anyways, the first thing that I have written down is not living where you're based, or commuting. Okay, commuting is a whole entire community in itself. Commuting is another job. I have always been based in my city that I live in, so I don't know anything about commuting, and I don't want to know anything about commuting. Commuting literally scares me. Right now it's okay because like we have positive space, but in regular operation, you have to like figure your way out to work. Like a plane is your ride to work. Okay, so everything I'm going to say in regards to commuting basically comes from other flight attendants and what I know that they have experienced, and just them telling me some of their like, you know, trials and tribulations. But one of the biggest things that I realize is that you really have to buffer like a day before your trip or a day after your trip. So we have like what flight attendants call commutable trips, where the trip might sign in late, but it also arrives back early, like on the third day. So that way you can fly in the day of work and fly home the night of work. Does that make sense? So like maybe the trip won't sign in until 3:30. The flight attendant can take the first flight in the morning and secure their ride to work, and then take maybe the last or second to last or next flight that's closest to when we land to get back home that same night. That is like best case scenario, that is like no failed operation, no detours, no delays, none of that. Like that is like the perfect scenario. But then you have some people who don't have commutable trips, and they have to fly in a night before their trip, or stay in a hotel, or sleep in the lounge. Like just living this lifestyle that is so different from people who are able to come to work or just drive to the airport and go to work. Okay, so I would say that is a con. Some people like it. Some people are so used to commuting. They've been commuting for years. Commuting is just their lifestyle. They've just adapted to it and worked through it. And some people don't hate it. Some people do. One thing I do know, and why it's on my con list, is that it does add another layer onto a career that already has so many layers already. So I guess like commuting is not the most ideal situation, but it is something that you can get used to. It is something you can adjust to. But I do know that people's quality of life gets a lot better once they move into their base. Another thing is working weekends as a new hire and holidays. I mean, obviously that's a con. And it's something that you just have to accept, guys. I know so many flight attendants that come and they're like pissed, and they like are upset the entire flight and are hard to work with because they're so upset that they working on Thanksgiving and they just got hired in April. Like, it's certain things, and that's why I say do your research before you become a flight attendant, because you have no right to be upset. Like, you knew what was up. You signed up. You literally signed up for this. Like, you knew weekends and holidays. Sorry, not sorry, but seniority rules. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's great when you can get the system to work on your side and force holidays off, or get someone to swap with you, or come across a great flight attendant who maybe has been here for 50 years and has had plenty of Thanksgivings or Christmases off, and give you and swap with you or do whatever. But you have to be accepting of that. And unfortunately, it's a con, because no one wants to be home on Christmas. No one wants to be working on Christmas. They want to be with their families. And so working every single weekend, not finding a balance with your regular friends who, and I say regular meaning like maybe your friends who might work a 9 to 5 or be entrepreneurs during the week and have the weekends off. Like, you don't have that luxury as a new flight attendant when it comes to seniority. You're working on the weekends. You're working when all your friends are hanging out. You're off when all of your friends are at work. So there is a huge disconnect that happens because of like scheduling lifestyle. But I will say that like it's really temporary, because on the flip side, not working weekends and not having holidays to work, become a pro once you've been here for 5 years, or put in the work, or have put in your time, you know, at the lower ranks. But due to where I am in my journey as a flight attendant, I am only 2.5 years in, and yeah, working weekends suck. I mean, literally, y'all should see my schedule next month. Scheduling me Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, what did I think was gonna happen? I mean, I knew, okay? I did my research. So that is a huge con for a lot of flight attendants, even myself. Okay, the next that I wanna talk about is rude passengers. Guys, this is a major con, okay? Because a lot of people see the career of a flight attendant as just customer service, and when in reality, our biggest concern is the safety first. Safety over service. I mean, safety is going to trump anything when it comes to being on the planes and what our job duties really are. It just becomes, and people do the most simplest things, but it becomes a struggle when people are like not even acknowledging your presence as a human being. Like, I just cannot wrap my head. I just cannot wrap my head around that. Do you walk in somebody's house and don't speak to them when you come into their house? No, you say hello, you say, hi, I'm here, good morning, good night, good evening. You just don't walk in, and literally when somebody is like speaking directly to you, I'm looking you in your face, good morning, sir, and you look at me and continue onto your seat. Like, that just blows my mind. Or the ones who don't even end up looking at you and they just walk right on the plane. Like, are y'all not situationally aware of like what's going on around you? Like, do you not think that you should maybe scan the room. What's going on the plane? I'm onboarding a plane. Maybe I should have my headphone out, or one headphone out, because somebody might be speaking to me, or somebody might need me, or a flight attendant might be trying to evacuate the plane and you're not listening because you got your headphones in. Like, I don't know. It's little things like that that become problematic when they're redundant like that, and when you feel like you're being treated less than, like, the help. Like, I am not, baby. What you're not gonna do is disrespect me or my crew. I will not let people talk to me any kind of way. Customer's always right. I'm sorry, but there is a thin line between like decency and just disgrace, because some of these passengers are just really rude, and I have witnessed flight attendants leave this job because they can't deal with how we're treated. People don't take our job very seriously. They aren't appreciative of what we're doing, especially now in this whole panorama, and we're on the front lines and getting no type of special care, no type of wellness check-ins, no type of monetary compensation. It sucks right now, okay? And that's just the honest truth. Like, it's not the best environment, especially right now. Like, it was crappy in the past, but especially right now, it is so, like, it just feels like a toxic environment. And I find myself constantly forcing myself to, like, be positive. Don't send the same energy that somebody else gave me to another passenger because it's not their fault. Or even sometimes I find myself already having an attitude and ain't nobody did nothing to me. Like, I'm at work. I'm supposed to be very happy. I'm supposed to be inviting and giving off the energy that the passengers feel safe and want to be on the plane with me. And sometimes I just have to work extra hard to make that happen, especially when there are humans on board that might not hold me to the same respect and value. So sorry I talked on that for so long, but that is a huge con that I think a lot of us deal with. A lot of senior mamas and papas are numb to and used to. And that's just a hard pill for me to swallow, especially when people feel like, oh, I can get one over on the flight attendants. Like, we know, we're not dumb. Like, I tell you to put your seat up, and then as soon as I turn around, you put your seat back. Like, not only did I hear it, but when I sit in my seat, I can literally see your seat back. You know what I'm saying? And baby, I'm not compromising my safety to get up and make you go put your seat up while we're taxiing on the runway. No, sir. So, I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna move on to the next topic. But as you can see, there's a lot of passion behind that one. And I think a lot of other flight attendants can relate to that. Redundant routines. Oh my gosh. This job will make you stupid. Okay, I'm sorry. That was probably not the best thing to say. The career of a flight attendant is very routine. You get to the airplane at a specific time. You have this specific time in between. You board for this amount of time. You gotta be closed door at this amount of time. You get on the plane. You do the service. You set up the cards. It's like, y'all know that episode of SpongeBob where Patrick went to that community and he like just did the same thing every single day. He couldn't take it anymore. That's literally what life of a flight attendant is like. Like, you're doing the same things. You have to make it interesting. That's why as a flight attendant, like, anytime I'm lead, if anybody has ever followed me who's watching me, I make jokes, okay? I be cracking jokes on these people because it's funny and it's fun and they laugh and it lightens up the mood, and it's just like, it takes my mind off of like the robotics of the career, that I'm able to show that I have a human side. I am a human. I want to joke and play with y'all. I want to tell y'all we going to Hawaii when y'all know we going to Atlanta, or, you know, just like stuff like that. Just very light and airy, nothing controversial. Just like, I want to have a good time. I'm your flight leader. You're safe in my hands along with my amazing crew. Like, I like to be that flight attendant. And you know, with my previous bullet point of rude passengers, sometimes that makes it really hard, but I exert my energy where it deserves to be exerted, and I don't have to be kiki and cute with you. I'm here to keep you safe and serve you a Coke, maybe, if you're nice to me. So yeah, redundant routines, it's a huge one because the job is the same. every flight, routine, boarding, deplaning. So you have to like mentally be stronger than the job, have something else going on. I have this as a con because like if you just come home and go to work every day, I mean, kudos to you, but you've got to be bored. There's no way that you are like, the job of a lot of, I know a lot of people romanticize the job of a flight attendant, but we romanticize the part of like traveling the world, meeting new people, and that aspect of it. But we don't really talk about like, we be like bored on these planes. Like we can't be on our phones, can barely read a book, like, you know? So yeah, really redundant, can get boring. It was really boring during the pandemic too, when we weren't like doing service or anything and there's barely anybody on the planes. So yeah, just kind of be prepared for that. It's like a thin line between every day is different, but you're also doing the same thing every single day. Like, yes, every day is different because you're going to different places and you're getting a different group of people who give you different vibes, and you know certain markets and how they are and how you can and cannot speak to them or whatever. But for the most part, the fundamentals of this job are very much redundant. And I guess I didn't really realize it until about a year in, and I'm just like, okay, what's next, you know? So that's why a lot of people move around internally. Like, I really want to be a trainer or on the hiring team or something really cool like that, just to kind of like zhuzh it up a little bit, you know, and not have to fly every single day for the rest of my life. Up next though, I have long days, 12 to 14 hour work days. Now, the way we break down our money and the way we break down like the hours and like how much money you're getting paid, like how much is money, how much is like flight pay versus how much time you're just at work. And the typical time that you'd be at work at 12 hours is like a pretty normal day. Like that's pretty standard. You'll get some 10-hour days, but a lot of those stuff go to like more senior people. But like 10 to 12 hours is pretty normal to come to work, because we're here for so long. We might only be on the plane for 2.5 hours, but we've been at work for 6.5 hours on top of the 2 that was just flight time. You know what I'm saying? So it is very long and redundant days, and especially when the operation is not, you know, smooth sailing, it is difficult to get through the days sometimes, especially when they're back to back and every day is long. But most rotations aren't that harsh. Y'all, this video is gonna be so long. I'm so sorry, but I hope y'all are here and loving all this like chit chat. Okay, anyways, back to the topic. But yeah, long and redundant days. I don't really have much to say about it. Just know that the days are long, and they're long and they're full of like I'm interacting with 600 people a day. That's like 200 people on 3 different flights. That's a lot of human interaction, and like your social battery would just be like kaput. Like your social battery would just be negative at that point. At the end of the day, you just want to go to your room, turn the light off, go to bed, take a nice hot shower. Like that's it. So the days are long, and you have to mentally prepare to just have a smile on your face. Bye. Thank you for flying with us. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye. Thank you for flying with us. Good night. Good night. Bye, cutie. Bye. Thank you for flying with us. To every single passenger as they walk off the plane. So back to the redundance. Like, you know what I'm saying? It all kind of like flows. Like all the crappy stuff kind of like coincides with each other. But yeah, long days, y'all. Long days. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Flying into off days. No one likes that. Flying into off days means like the operation, probably something happened. Y'all caught a delay. You had to divert and lay over somewhere else, or flights were canceled, or weather. Sometimes you got to stay in that hotel an extra night. You thought you was going home tonight. You thought you was gonna get that lasagna you cooked. No, you coming back in the morning. And that just sucks. I mean, plain as day, flying into your off day is just not a vibe, especially when you only have 1 off day or 2 days, or, you know, not 3 or 4 in between. You need every moment and every waking second you can get while you at the house, okay? So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that. I'm not gonna talk too much about that part. Flying into your off days sucks. It's like having to bring your work home. Like a 9 to 5, it's equivalent to a 9 to 5 person having to bring their work home. Like, no, who wants to bring their work home and still be working off the clock after 5 or 6 o'clock, or having to do work on the weekends for your 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job? Like, no one wants to do that. And that's literally equivalent to us having to fly into our off days. Sometimes, so the way the operation works is you do not work with the same flight attendants every day. Unless you're on like a 3-day trip, you're with them for those 3 days. But every time I report to work, I am prepared to interact, be introduced to, and work with a different set of human beings, a different set of flight attendants, somebody I've never met before, or sometimes we come across and we end up getting scheduled together again, and I've worked with them in the past. But the reason this is a con is because sometimes those people can be crappy. Sometimes certain flight attendants just aren't the best to work with. Sometimes maybe they're just not having a good day, and what they're giving you is making you perceive them to be somebody that they may not be, and you might not ever want to work with them again or whatever, because you don't know what's going on in their life and X, Y, and Z. I get it. We're human. Everybody has their days, but some people just suck. Like, some people just aren't good flight attendants, and it's like how did you get this job? You know, like, considering how like hard it is to get this job, like, you really must have put up a front, because man, you suck. But I don't know, I just, you know, sometimes it's just not the best to work with certain people. But if you're a good flight attendant, you can face that battle with no problem. You can adjust to the environment and meet people where they are. We're not here to be besties. You don't have to make friends with every flight attendant that you work with. Like, that would just be too much. Like, you're not going to be besties with everybody, and that is okay. You are here to come to work. You're here to forget what you think about them personally. Work as a team, take care of the passengers, get them from point A to B safely, and that's that. The airline asks nothing more of you but to do just that. Come to work, use your crew resource management, and that's it. That's it. So yeah, that's the only thing that kind of sucks, and that is a con, is that you just come across some bad apples. But luckily, in most airlines, there are plenty more good apples than there are bad apples, and that's okay. You just have to work with them and move on. And if you want to make you a little do not fly list, then do so and make your life a lot easier. Okay, my mouth a little dry. I need some coffee. Whew. I really didn't anticipate this video being so long, but I'm kind of vibing with it because we're chatting it up, and I really do like sit down chit chats. On to the next con. I have three more. Okay, the next con is reserve days, getting used or getting called. Okay, anything revolving reserve days. Being on A days is what my company calls it. Being on call, reserve, A days, all the same thing. Those days can either be good or they can like suck, okay? By the way, I have a 6 days on call, life as a flight attendant and a mom vlog coming out on Sunday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Turn your bell notifications on so that you don't miss when I upload that. But anyways, reserve days suck. They suck because you have no control of where you're gonna go. They suck because you overpack and you probably don't even get used, or you overpack and you're still not prepared for somewhere they send you, or you get called in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 2 hours before you gotta wake up to report to said rotation. It's crappy, but I will say that it used to be a lot worse, and that times have changed very much so. They used to have 9 reserve days. Now we only have 6. My specific airline, we only have 6 reserve days. They used to have 9. They used to be only reserve. I mean, there are still pilots who are only reserve. And that lifestyle sucks. Just having to be ready when they call you, always having to have a bag packed, not knowing when you're gonna have a day to yourself. Like, no. No thanks, I am good. I cannot wait till I'm a senior mama and don't gotta have A days no more, or have the liberty of being able to have A days on a weekday and I can move them, or whatever the case may be. So anywho, yeah, it's a hard no for me on the A days. They're not the best, and they can really be a tyrant, especially like if the operation is bad. They can just drag you up and down and make you work until you time out. We time out at 15 hours. Once we reach 15 hours of being at work from the time we sign in, we are illegal to work. So like, you know, having just a long day, timing out, then getting minimum rest, just to wake up and have to do another 15-hour day. Watch out. Nope. Next. All right, bad hotels. This happens. It's not a big thing. It's not something that I would harbor on for too long, especially in conversation, but there are bad hotels and it just happens. And they're usually the ones that are at the airport, you know, like the airport hotels, the ones that are close in proximity. And yeah, they're just not the best ones, or like hotels that just like have no microwave. Like, you're telling me you don't have a microwave in this entire establishment that I can use? How are you even accommodating for the flight attendants or crews that are staying here? We pack food for multiple days and you're telling me you don't have a freaking microwave, bro? Like, yeah, you know, and that will make it, to me, a bad hotel, because like it could be the most beautiful hotel, but you ain't got no microwave, dog. Like, come on, you know that flight crews stay here. Create a flight room. Bring down one microwave to the lobby that everybody can use. Like, that's so tacky to me. And then sometimes they're just gross. Like, sometimes they just aren't the nicest looking hotels, and that's okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just shaking my camera. And that's okay, because we don't stay there often. It's not like we go there a lot, or it's also not like every hotel is like that. Way more nicer hotels than there are like crappy hotels. So, and then the last thing I want to talk about is being a number. I know. We said we was going to get into some tea, but here's how I feel. Certain airlines, a lot of airlines, you know, preach family and unity and togetherness. And I'm not speaking about any one airline, okay? This is just like coming from multiple other flight attendants, conversations from other airlines, not even just the one I work for, and also my own personal experience. It's a fine line between wanting to be recognized and known in your career community and also like not wanting to be, because it's like college. I went to Georgia State University, and it was like, if you want to be in the limelight, you can literally do that. But if you want to go to class and go back to your dorm every day, you can literally do that too, and nobody will know you, and that's okay. My thing is, like, there are so many employees, and I just don't think that the companies can help this, but there are so many employees that I could be, unless I'm doing something wrong, you know, fundamentally, and I have like a manager out to get me or something, that's a different story. I'm talking about just the day in, day out. Like, you can literally be a flight attendant and don't nobody really know who you are. You're literally just a number because you bring no attention to yourself. And a lot of people like it that way. And, you know, I guess when I say, like, they preach family and unity and this, that, and the third, I feel like that can be lost sometimes because of real life things that airlines are going through, especially in the pandemic. And just the fact alone of having so many flight attendants and pilots and ground crew, and I mean, think about the operation. There's something literally for everything, and so you can't have somebody nobody babies you and holds your hand in this type of career. You very much show up to work when you're supposed to, leave when you're supposed to, and most of the time, the only time people talk to you are when you're either late or doing something wrong. If somebody recognizes you, like a passenger writes in about you and recognizes you as a good flight attendant, then maybe you might get an email from like your manager, you know, saying thank you for keeping up the good work. But like, you just come to work. You're literally a number. We are literally assigned numbers. We are known by our employee numbers. And I don't know, it used to bother me. It doesn't really bother me as much anymore because I do like to just be left alone. But at first I was really taken back because I was just like, I don't know. I didn't expect it to be like this. Like, I didn't expect it to be like the only time I'm gonna get talked to is when I'm in trouble about something, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So I guess that's why if you want to go far in the career, you have to take the steps yourself to like reach out to people and form relationships with people in other departments or like other people higher up in management and things like that, to just really get anywhere. Because if no one knows who you are, how is anybody gonna hold you and make you credible for when you're trying to go for another position in the company or whatever the case may be. So I don't know, it's really like a catch-22, that aspect of it, because at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, yes, the companies believe in family and unity, because as a whole, they take care of the communities, each airline. So, but don't think you're gonna get like doubled down on special personal treatment or even having to speak to somebody every day. You don't report to anybody when you come to this job, which is also a pro in my opinion. I like being my own boss. It's like low key, like, you know, I am responsible for showing up on time. I'm responsible for the way I look. I'm responsible for all of that. How I am on the planes, making sure I'm holding to the standard of the company that I work for. You know, those are all personal things, and that's cool. So yeah, I don't know. I just felt like adding that into the con, you know, portion, because I felt like it is kind of like a good little conversation piece. So anywho, let's move on, baby. I am so tired. It's been literally 30 minutes. Okay, my camera is on 30 minutes of filming, which is crazy, but I think we're gonna zoom through the pros a whole lot faster. If you're still here, guys, I love you so much, and I'm so glad that you're finding me entertaining and liking the conversations at hand. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into these pros. Traveling the world, baby. Duh. I mean, how could I not start off with that one? Obviously, we can travel the world, okay? Whether we're traveling it, getting paid, or traveling it on our own leisure account. Traveling the world is obviously great, but don't be all up in your interview talking about, I want to travel the world, unless you package it right. Like, I would love to travel the world and be well versed on culture and community. That way I can directly in turn put that into the work that I do on the planes with the passengers. Like, baby, you gotta package it up, okay? Like, if you want to be honest about wanting to travel the world, but don't ever talk about the benefits in your interview. Come on, guys, y'all should know that. But anyways, traveling the world, baby, it is obviously a wonderful, wonderful thing. Very grateful for the opportunity. Very grateful to provide the opportunity for my family, like my parents and my boyfriend and my daughter. Like, it's really great, and there's not really much I'm gonna say about that, because that one speaks for itself. I really like the fact that this is not a typical 9-to-5 and can be, understand that it is not always, but can be very flexible. I love that I don't work a regular schedule. I used to hate only being off on the weekdays, and now I look forward to my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday by myself, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to myself, getting my things together, having productive days during the week. And I don't know, I have really grown to love having my off days on the weekday. But it's not your typical 9-to-5. I show up, I leave for work, I'm gone for 57 hours. I'm gone for maybe 3 days, you know what I'm saying? So you know, leave on the first day, come on the third day. But like, our trips are usually blocked at that 60 hours time away from base and stuff like that. So I enjoy that aspect of it. I love that we have so many options in scheduling that allows you to just really formulate a schedule that can work with your life. If you're a parent and you want to go to work while your children are asleep, you can literally bid leanovers. How I do, I go to work at night, I come right back in the morning. Or if you're a senior and you only want to work and you want your job to be more like a 9-to-5, you would come into work that morning, do an international turn real quick, a Caribbean turn real quick, get off before it's nighttime and head back home. Like, there are so many options. Commuters like 3-day trips. They don't want to come all the way to a different city just to work for 1 day. Absolutely not. Who wants to do that? They love those 3-day trips. They work for them. 2-day trips. You don't want to be home. You don't want to be gone from home for too long. You at least want to stay over in a hotel for one night. There are so many options. That brings me to another tip that's also on my pro list, is being able to plan in advance. We get our schedules a month in advance. So I get my schedule typically like the 19th for the next month. So on August 19th, I'll have my schedule for September. I'm sorry. Yeah, August 19th. I got my schedule for September 19th. I'll get it for October. And I like this because if you need to move things, especially for us junior people, we got to get to shaking and moving when it comes to our schedules and getting what we want. And that takes time. We can't just do it the week of. People are not gonna want to switch it to you. So I like that. That's a big pro for me because I can plan in advance. I can schedule things with my family and friends and let them know when I'm gonna be off. So that's huge for me. When it comes to like scheduling and just making this job work for you. So I'm only gonna touch lightly on pay. Pay is in my pro category because I do believe we get paid very well. The specific airline I work for does pay more than most airlines do. But I am very pleased with how much we get paid. I have no complaint. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. Every day is different. Although I did say it is redundant, every day is still different because you're going to a different place, you're meeting different people, the operation's different every day, the weather's different every day, which really makes the job different every day. And so I cherish that as a pro because I like not coming and having to sit at a desk every day and knowing, okay, this is what I gotta do today, let's bust it out, and then I can go home. Like, I don't know, I like the excitement. I like that it's just different people every day, different coworkers every day. I might be in a different mood every day. I might want to play one day, then the other day I just might want to just be a good flight attendant and follow by the book. You know what I'm saying? So yes, every day is different, and I do think that that is a pro. Personally, like, you know, like I said, all of these on the list, whoa, every single item on the pro and con list is personal. It's my personal opinion. I am not Bible. One flight attendant might feel different than me, and that's okay. We're all entitled to our opinion. Just thought I'd say that. Health and family benefits. We get really great health and family benefits on top of the benefits that I can provide to my family for traveling. That's huge. Like, Daddy, guess what? You get free flights. Like, what? Of course, that's a pro. And then we have really great health benefits. Like, we are secured, good 401k plans and things like that, like setting you up for real life. That was really important to me for a career. And I'm just glad that like the type of career I work in, they provide good and reasonable health and family benefits. New friends, you get to meet so many people, guys. Not only just your coworkers, but sometimes people make friends with the people on the flight. I have like followed plenty of people on Instagram and we talk constantly because I met them on a flight. Like, they're cool people, and you know, when you're on a flight and you ain't got nothing to do, you have conversations. Like, especially when our jump seats are like right by people or right in front of people, like we are close in proximity, so we do speak. Like, we talk, and you meet a lot of people, and you talk to your flight attendant crew. Sorry guys, my camera like overheated and cut out, but yeah, I think I was saying, like, you talk to other flight attendants and you just create bonds. And jump seat pillow talk is real. Like, jump seat therapy sessions, and like people really be pouring their hearts out while they at work to their coworkers. But yeah, you just formulate these friendships, and it is a pro. Like, it's nice to have people to chat with, especially who are in your field, because a lot of people don't get it. They just don't get the lifestyle, and you can't expect them to, but it's nice to just have people to talk to who definitely do understand. The next two I kind of already touched on, but you don't have to take work home with you, which is amazing. Like, once I get off, like, flight attendant who? Airline what? Flight where? Like, girl, please. I am not a flight attendant. I don't have to think one bit about being a flight attendant when I'm not working, and that is amazing. Unless I'm like working on my schedule or something like that, or, you know, planning my life, but I don't have to bring work home. Being a flight attendant is a very on-the-job type of job. Like, there's no reason to have to bring anything from work at home. Even if people pissed you off all day, inhala, exhala. Like, inhale, exhale, and blow that nonsense right on out. As soon as you enter your home, you're in a whole new realm. You no longer have to worry about any of that. I mean, heck, the moment I step off the plane, honestly, I inhale, exhale, and I am no longer a flight attendant, although I am in my uniform, but I'm very much tunnel vision on the way to my car. I am off work. I am no longer getting paid. Like, don't ask me for no directions. I mean, of course, I'm gonna give you directions, but like, you know, I'm off work. I no longer have to worry about being a flight attendant until it's time for me to report back in and for another trip. So, and then nice hotels. We have already talked on this, but we have such amazing hotels. We get such good experiences. The airline really does take care of us as a whole, how I spoke on before. And just making sure that we have like the best accommodations as best as it can be for us for the most part. So better, definitely more so than not. So I don't think I'm missing anything as far as pros. The job overall is a pro. This lifestyle overall is a pro. And I guess I really just kind of wanted to touch on some of the things to be aware about that you might not like, or to shed light on some things that you should probably be prepared for or think about mentally when you're applying to become a flight attendant. I'm pushing out a lot of these videos right now because I know that applications are open and a lot of you are doing a lot of research, and I hope that this is one of the videos in your repertoire of like, do I really want to apply? Because I hate nothing more than people applying to this job and then quitting because they hate it or they didn't know what to expect, when there are so many resources out there that really lay the job out for you and lay it out how it's going to be. And yes, it's different when you're doing it in person, but guys, come on, you guys, don't be mad that you working weekends and you quit because of that. Like, you just took somebody else's spot, man. Come on, who knew that? Who was ready and willing and able to prepare to give up their weekends to become a flight attendant and earn their seniority and, you know, whatever, man. It's just like, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I love chatting with you. I know it's really long, so if you made it this far, thank you so much. I love you guys so much. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that bell notification, and give it a big thumbs up because there are so much more to come, so many more videos, and I'm so excited to produce them and drop them out for y'all. If you want more videos like this, hashtag below, more flight life. Y'all already know the deal. Love you. See you on Sunday in my 6 days of on-call life as a flight attendant and a mom. I'll see you then. Bye.